What's going on? This is Brandon from the B Mindset. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my first ever amateur boxing fight, and also I'm going to share with you the mental principles that I utilized leading up to this fight and during the fight. So I know many of you just want to see the fight. You're like, Brandon, just show it already. So I'm going to show it right now, and then afterwards you can stick around and I'll share the mental principles that I use for this fight. Let's get into it.
Next, he fighting all the way from Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Brandon, the jump rope dude, Epstein! All the way from Austin, Texas, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. Please welcome Perry, the Hitman Holloway! Good luck, everybody. Brandon in the red place, Perry in the blue place. Round one. Oh, we're starting at a fast pace in this round. Use your jab. Gotta be first. Yes, gotta be first. Use that jab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come here. Be first, B. Get your head off. Be first with the jab. Head with the jab. Work your feet, Thank you. Guys, give it up for Brandon Perry. Amazing fight. Due to referee stoppage in the second round, your winner is Brandon the Jump Rope Dude Epstein. Second fight. Now, Brandon, talk to me right here. It's your first fight, right? First fight ever, man. First of all, guys, if you don't know who Brandon Epstein is, Brandon everybody comes in here and works their ass off. If you guys saw the dedication of what these guys put their bodies through, everything like that, it is not a game. As you can see, both fights have been amazing. So, also, Churchill Boxing will probably be doing more smoker fights, so if anybody out there is like, I want to do that inside, come on, take class, train with Caesar, with Chris, with everybody here, get your butt in here, and do a little fight. Brandon, amazing watching your work, amazing job. What do you think your strengths were in there, and how do you think you got the stoppage?
Visualization, man. I've seen it happen so many times already. So,
right. So you're a Will Smith fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does a little Willie, Big Willie style.
Big Willie style. Have you read The Alchemist?
Of course.
Okay, awesome. Right there from Brandon. If you see it, you can dream it. If you dream it, you're gonna dream it. Right there. Give it up for Brandon Epstein!
Thank you so much for sticking around. You got to see the fight, and now you get to see the mindset behind the fighter. Let's get into this. Principle number 1. Build the mind-body connection. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really wanted to fight after about a year of training. I was like getting impatient. I was like, yo, let's get this scheduled. But the truth was, I didn't build that mind-body connection enough to be comfortable to go out and actually fight in a real fight, you know? Because once you get in that ring, it's two people going head to head, giving it everything they had. And so what I needed to do before I felt confident fighting, the step 1, the principle 1, was building my skill set up to a point where I knew it was good enough to actually get in that ring. And the only way to do that is through deliberate practice. So the last couple of years, I just spent drilling boxing technique, you know, doing sparring, working the pads, doing everything I needed to do to get myself to feel comfortable enough to be like, okay, I no longer have to think about every punch I'm throwing with good technique. It's just kind of ingrained into my unconscious mind. And the only way to take something from the conscious to the unconscious is by practice, practice, practice. So it took me about 2 years to get to this point. And really what I was doing during this period was carving the neural pathways in my brain. I was carving them on such a deep level that my mind was like, okay, I get it. This is how we do boxing. So by the time I got in the ring, I didn't have to think to myself, I'm gonna throw a jab, I'm gonna throw a right. Instead, it was built into my unconscious and I could just react and be in the present moment. Long story short, it takes as long as it takes. And if you're learning a new skill and you want to go compete at a high level, you need to make sure that your skill set is built up. And if it's not, then all the mental tools in the world aren't going to help you. You have to have the physical skill down first. Principle number 2, surrender. I meditated on losing this fight before I got in that ring. And the reason why I did so is because I wanted the full experience of having the worst case scenario completely play out in my mind like it was real. I wanted to know, what am I so afraid of? Why am I afraid of losing? And so I went into a meditation where I really explored this and I realized, oh, I'm afraid of losing because I don't want people to judge me and think I'm not enough, especially because I make YouTube videos and I told everyone I was gonna make this video and I was gonna share it with everyone, so I had that added pressure. So once I went through this meditation, I saw myself losing, I saw it all play out, I was like, this isn't so bad. So really I convinced myself I had nothing to lose, so I could just be present and I didn't have to worry leading up to my fight or during the fight. Principle number 3, visualization. I use visualization in 2 main ways. The first way was my technique. You can actually get mental reps by, like I mentioned earlier, building those neural pathways in your brain that correlate with a certain skill. So a great way to do that is visualization. So I visualize my technique and just doing my whole game plan for the fight perfectly. And I did that a lot leading up to the fight. The second type of visualization I did was just watching myself win. I watched myself land that hard right, which you saw in the fight, to end things. And in my mind, I saw him go down and drop to the canvas, but it's only amateur boxing, so of course the referee got involved and didn't allow that to happen. But I had that ingrained in my mind, so I had that self-belief inside of me before I got into that ring. If you want to know more about visualization techniques, I created a video where I teach you how to do what I was just talking about. Check it out. Principle number 4, breathe. I use my breath an enormous amount leading up to this fight. And again, I used it in 2 different ways because all these tools can be used in different ways depending what outcome you want. So the first way I used my breath was to calm myself down. A lot of people have these giant adrenaline dumps right before they fight and they get in the ring and they feel super slow and sluggish and with no energy. That didn't happen to me because before my fight, I focused on my breath, I slowed down, I took deep, long breaths. I'll show you one right now. Basically it was like this. And I repeated that over and over. So it's essentially 4 seconds in through my nose with a deep belly breath, hold for 2 seconds, exhale out of my mouth, stomach falls, hold for 2 seconds, repeat. So I used that breath to calm me down right before my fight and down-regulate my body. But once I got in the ring, I noticed I was a little bit too calm. So I used a different yoga type breath to up-regulate my nervous system and get myself ready for fight or flight. And that looks a little bit like this. So to down-regulate, I did those slow, long breaths, and to up-regulate, I did these short, more shallow breaths and brought my chin to my chest. And that really got my body amped and got me ready to take on my competitor. Principle number 5 was just being present. The most important part about fighting is being in the present moment. You cannot get into flow state without being present. So for me, I was trying to be present leading up to the fight. So I was doing a lot of meditation. I closed my eyes, just focus on the present moment, focus on the sensation of the breath going in my nose, out my mouth. And once I actually got in the ring, I just turned off my conscious mind. I didn't think about what happened in the past. I didn't think about anything in the future. I just focused on that present moment. So I was able to go from my conscious mind, which only processes information about 40 bits per second, to my unconscious mind, which can process up to 40 million bits of information per second. And that unconscious mind allowed me to get into flow state and then just react in the ring instead of thinking about what I was gonna do. So to recap, we built the mind-body connection, we surrendered, we visualized, we breathed, and then we got present. And with those 5 things, you're able to get yourself into peak mental state, and that's what I did. Obviously, you can see in this fight, I am still a beginner boxer. It's my first ever amateur boxing fight. But the point here and what I wanna show you is that I was able to max out the potential that I have. Yes, I'm not gonna be getting in the ring with any professionals anytime soon. I do not have any ambition to be a professional boxer, but these mental tools are very useful for anyone. I use them in my amateur fight. Pros can use them in their pro fights, and now you can use them for whatever you care about. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please like the video, comment below, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.